Ever heard of a US president who was a male model, or one who survived not one, but two assassination attempts in just 17 days? Buckle up, because today we're diving into the surprisingly fascinating life of Gerald Ford, America's 38th president. Ford wasn't born Gerald Ford. His birth name was Leslie Lynch King Jr. His parents separated just 16 days after he was born, and his mother later remarried a man named Gerald Rudolph Ford. Young Leslie was formally adopted and renamed Gerald Rudolph Ford Jr. He didn't even know about his biological father until he was a teenager. Talk about a plot twist. Early in life, before he got into politics, Ford was a legitimate star athlete. At the University of Michigan, he was a standout center on the football team, helping the Wolverines to undefeated seasons and national titles in 1932 and 1933. He was so good. He got offers to play professionally for the Detroit Lions and the Green Bay Packers. Instead, he chose to go to Yale Law School, where he also worked as a boxing coach and an assistant football coach. And yes, you heard that right at the beginning. During his time at Yale, to make some extra cash, Ford did some modeling. He even appeared in a 1942 issue of Cosmopolitan magazine, posing in a ski outfit. Imagine that. A future commander-in-chief striking a pose for a fashion spread. Ford's path to the presidency is completely unique in American history. He is the only person to have served as both vice president and president of the United States, without being elected to either office. When Vice President Spiro Agnew resigned in 1973, Nixon appointed Ford. Then, less than a year later, Nixon resigned due to the Watergate scandal, and Ford was sworn in as president. He famously said in his inaugural address, "My fellow Americans, our long national nightmare is over." One of his most controversial decisions came just a month into his presidency, when he granted a full and unconditional pardon to Richard Nixon. This move was incredibly unpopular at the time and likely cost him the 1976 election. However, Ford always maintained he did it to heal a deeply divided nation and move past the Watergate crisis, believing a long, public trial of a former president would only cause more damage. Decades later, many historians and even political opponents came to agree that it was a courageous, if politically costly, act of leadership. Now for the really wild part. In September 1975, Ford's life was in danger twice. On September 5th, a follower of Charles Manson pointed a pistol at him in Sacramento, California. A Secret Service agent grabbed the gun just in time. Then, only 17 days later, on September 22nd in San Francisco, another woman fired a shot at him, but a bystander deflected her arm, causing the bullet to miss. Surviving two assassination attempts in less than 3 weeks is something straight out of an action movie. Despite his athletic past, Ford developed a reputation for being clumsy. This was largely thanks to comedian Chevy Chase, who famously impersonated him on Saturday Night Live, constantly stumbling and falling. In reality, Ford was probably one of the most athletic presidents we've ever had. But the caricature stuck, proving that a good joke can sometimes be more powerful than the truth. So there you have it, from a college football star and model to the only unelected president who pardoned his predecessor and survived two assassination attempts in a month. The story of Gerald Ford is a reminder that history is often stranger and more interesting than we think. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed learning something new today, please hit that like button. And don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you won't miss our next deep dive into history. See you in the next video.